Hi everyone, Tiffany here. So I figured today I would make a quick video on how to trim a quilt. So I just so happen to have a quilt that needs to be trimmed so that it can be bound. So today I'm just making a quick little video in hopes that this little video is little enough to put on YouTube for you guys. Because you guys know I have video problems, but anyway, I'm going to make this video to show you how to trim a quilt. So, as you can see when I turn this around, I have this big, huge, it is a king-size quilt, and right now I have it kind of hanging off the table. Nothing's holding it besides itself, because when you take them off the frame, they're kind of stiff at first, which is actually really good. It helps keep it in place. So, I'm going to show you how to trim. So, right now, I do have to tell you, to trim a quilt, you need a quilt. And you need a long ruler. I use my 6x24, and I would suggest, specifically because this has batting in it, to use a 60mm rotary cutter. Before I got this, I was using a 45, and I still was able to do it, but it required a lot more pressure than using the 60. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So I start right here, and I'm stepping on the quilt, so if it moves, and I'm sorry, it is because I'm stepping on it as I go, unfortunately. I start with one corner, I lay it up on the table, and I am going to just place this down right here, in hopes that this shows everything, and I line it up. If I could just stop stepping on it like this. It's nice to have a big work surface, or lay an idea for you, actually, is to take a board, a self-healing mat, if you have one, lay it on a big huge floor, put that self-healing mat down on the floor, and then just work your way, moving the mat and the ruler as you go, if you don't have a table that's up high like mine is. So if you need to, just lay a self-healing mat down on the floor, put the edge of the quilt top down on it in the length position, and then use your ruler and cut that way, and just move the board and the ruler with you instead of how I move the quilt and the ruler this way. So let me put you back down an angle, and I will get to this some more. So I'm starting with the top, obviously. I'm hoping this is a good enough angle. I'm going to line this up, this ruler, up on my edge. Now my quilt top is aligned really nicely. My borders are really good. So all I'm going to do is open my blade. I'm going to start right here and slice down this edge. And obviously the further I get up, the more pressure I need to grab. So then I pull this away. Okay? Set my blade aside, and I set the ruler aside, which you guys can see, and I take and I slide the whole quilt top up. And I sort of kind of bring it down onto itself just a little, to where I have a nice straight line up here, and I know you can see that. So up here at the top, I have just a little bit, let me put this on here, of a straight line, so that when I put the ruler back right here, and this is pulled out of the way, I can make my next cut, and see it lines up pretty nicely. So I'm just going to keep this ruler right here, I'm going to place this down, and make my next cut. And then I just pull it out of the way again, slide everything out of the way. And obviously this is a tight little position. Outside I actually have a better cutting area, but it's kind of blocked right now with a ton of storage. So I'm stuck doing this in the house. Again, I'm going to show you again. I kind of just put it up onto itself like this, keeping that to where I have my straight line still, using the quilt, and then line it up again, which, as you can tell, it's lining up nicely. So if I put it up to the top, it's still a nice straight line. If I pull it down, it's still a nice straight line. You just want to line it up like so. Obviously, I have to place the camera out of the way, and I make my cut. Again, I just pull it out of the way, bring it down onto itself, using my hands. And like I said, this is a king size, so it's pretty long. A lot of work went into this one. lining it up onto the table, using itself as its own weight up there at the top. Again, I'm just going to line my ruler up at the top. I don't know how well you can see. Oh, you can see that one good. At the top again, lining it up, and cutting down the side, moving it out of the way as I go. Take the rest of it, come up onto the table. So now here I'm at a corner. Let's get that up onto itself. Right now, I'm at a corner. So you want to know how to do the corner? I'm going to put this right about here so that you can see. And again, I'm sorry for the movement in the video today, but this was a quick, let's do this video and get it done video, so that you guys can see. So I'm going to line this up like I would. I'm going to start from that end, make that cut, move that end away. And then, once it's out of the way, I'm going to leave it exactly where it is. And I'm going to just right here, just to start this corner off, I'm going to come over here. And it'd be best if I line my ruler, so you want the ruler line, up on the top, nice and straight, as you go down the side, nice and straight. So I'm going to pull it where I want it, and I'm going to start the cut right here, and I'm going to pull that away and turn the whole entire thing. So give me a second. You can watch me. I'll back this up so you can see. We're going to pull this whole thing, keeping this on the table, turn the whole quilt, let that piece fall, keeping that out of the way. Put it up kind of high so I can get the most cut for what I need. Put it nice and straight on the table. Put my ruler back on here, and I'm going to kind of go up a little bit higher than I normally would. Come down here, making sure it's nice and straight because I have a little bit of side bow from it being held into the long arm. Line it up nicely and make the cut. Pulling it away, and again, moving it up, out of the way. I'm going to keep an edge up there. Same as I was doing last time, I'm keeping an edge sticking out up here so that I can put my ruler in, like so, lining it up down this edge, so you can see I have a little bit of pull from when it was on the frame, but as long as I have that straight up here at the top, it'll come down and it'll land just right. So let's make this cut. Nice straight line. And again, I'm just going to move everything out of the way, pull the quilt onto itself, and push it up onto the table, keeping the backing and everything to the side, lining it up again, lining my ruler down here and up there, and making a cut. Again, move the ruler out of the way. Now if you're on the floor cutting, it actually is easier to be able to move the mat with you. I find it easier that way, but unfortunately the little girls are here, so I kind of can't go out into the living room and use a blade and all that. So again, I'm coming to a corner now. This time I'm going to kind of just cut right here because I'm trying to save the end of this quilt right here. So I'm going to come to this edge. I'm going to line it up on a line up down here, and make a cut. Pull that away, and this should come completely off. So I have that because I'm trying to save as much of the backing as possible so I can use it as binding. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to cut down this side right here, lining it up right here on the top, making sure it's nice down here, and I'm going to cut it before I turn it. I find it easier to cut than turn. So I'm going to turn the whole thing. I'm going to have to adjust it a little because it needed to be adjusted. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way because I don't want to chop that and mess it up. So now I'm just going to line it back up again. Let me show you. So I'm going to line it back up again, right here where it needs to be, and then I'll make that cut. Now if you want, you can use a weight to do this. It's up to you. I do on some projects. This one I just brought in and figured I'd just get it all cut up because I'm trying to save some of it, as long as it stays out of the way. Again, just going to line it up, come down to this edge, and make my cut. Pulling all this out of the way. You can also use your ruler when you're folding it down onto itself, but that wasn't working at the very moment. Come down, making sure all of my backing is out of the way because I don't want to cut it. I want it to stay nice. Line it up. Make the cut. Pull it back onto the table. I'm coming down to another edge, making sure that's staying out of the way because I really want to save that. I'm going to come down here to this edge, straighten that up, cut it, move all this out of the way, and I'm going to cut off the edge right here at this line because I'm saving all this. Alright, one more corner to go. Putting it onto the table again, so I'm back to another corner, so I pulled it onto the table. Okay. And I'm going to align. I'm not going to get too far out of my vision real quick because I want to be able to see the top of this up there. I want to be able to line that up on a line. So I'm going to take a line and line it up and then line it down the side. Again, sometimes I get some pulling from the sides. And I'm just going to cut that off because that's in my seam allowance. Line it up nicely and make the cut. Pull it out of the way. Pick up the whole quilt. Pull it up onto the table. Folding it down onto itself just a little. I don't want to cut itself though. We're going to line this up. And if anything, you can line it up past where you previously cut. Pulling that out of the way. Move it up. I find it easier having the big table to do this. Of course, outside is where I would normally do this, but again, I have no room out there. Because there's storage in the way of my big table. We haven't finished moving stuff around out there. So I'm coming to the final corner. So here I'm at the final corner. So I'm going to make sure, sorry about that, that I align this line now with this whole side. So there's going to be 2 cuts worth right here. So let me put this down. So I'm going to start up here real quick. I'm going to make my up here cut. Move this out of the way. Now I'm just going to move the quilt just a little bit so that I can line up on a line right down here and along this side. So I'm lining, not only am I aligning this side, but I want it on a line right here. So here's the final cut. And there we go. So there's that. So give me a second. And we will pull this thing down. And I'll just turn the camera. And there we have a trimmed quilt. So it's ready to be bound. So I hope you enjoyed this little snippet on how to trim a quilt so that you can get ready to bind it. Thank you for watching. I'm Tiffany. Don't forget to like and subscribe right there in that corner. So, like my videos, guys. Bye.